Jason Hayes from the Cavalier Golf and Yacht Club.
Okay.
I'm Andrea Erda. I'm the great-granddaughter of Richard Crane.
Frederick Fisher, grandson of Richard Crane, but he died before I was born. I was born in '39. I think he died in '38.
Yep.
Very good.
All right.
So
yeah, in regards to Georgetown, since my daughter goes there, we were able to set up to go see the archives.
So, Andrea, which one did you go to?
Georgetown. That's
Yeah,
why he's telling you
that's
that.
what I
That's
thought.
where
Yeah.
Richard's
Right,
archives
thank
are.
you,
Yeah, I think I'd read that on the website.
Yeah.
You had gone there. So when I went there, I think there's upwards of 40 boxes of material, and we were only allowed to have so many at a time. And we put the gloves on and started going through. But I tried to
I
pick.
have a box of material, and I'd be glad to show it to you.
Okay.
We think it was put together from grandfather's papers,
Okay.
and if you think it'd be worthwhile
Probably anything.
talking to Georgetown, if they would be interested.
They have them divided into the Virginia collection and then his ambassador time.
Right.
So I focused on the Virginia collection. There was one labeled Birdneck Point.
Nice.
Oh, good. Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot in there, but there were. I have a picture of him on the golf course. I have a picture of what I think is cottage in Birdneck Point, and then his scorecard from the golf course.
Oh, how's his score?
Not too good.
I didn't even know he was a golfer, so that doesn't surprise me.
So he died in a hunting accident.
Right.
And of course, in that situation, it's always a question, was it an accident or suicide? And Harrison Tyler, who I knew well, but I didn't have the wit to cross-examine him while I could. But he said, I hunted with your grandfather, and he was a very careless hunter.
Okay. I think it happened up this way.
That's right.
Little
it was,
creek.
I'm sure, in the marsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were hunting a type of bird, a waterfowl, and it's a really weird name. I can't
Sora.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
What is that?
That's a little rail, and you have to hunt them at high tide. But you're supposed to, I've never hunted them, but you're supposed to have somebody push you through the flooded marsh,
Okay.
and then as you come by, it flushes the Sora, and then you can shoot them.
Yep.
Then I guess you have to have a dog.
And he was hunting with his boat captain, Adaki?
Snedeky.
Snedeky.
Yeah.
Snedeky.
Okay.
But they were separated.
Okay. So each had a separate blind, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Snedeky had heard the shot.
Yeah.
And thought maybe he
Yeah. Right.
had. But yeah,
So
Snedeky.
Snedeky is a very interesting guy. I think he was a prize fighter. I think grandfather worked at the Bridgeport train factory, and I think that's where he got to know Snedeky.
Okay.
And then when his father sold out, he didn't get along with his brothers, so they bid for it, and his brother had the highest bid.
Yeah.
And I think grandfather felt maybe he wanted to get out, or maybe he felt he should get out. But anyway, he left at that time.
Well, I know he was an avid hunter and shooter.
Yeah.
The club, in its origins, we had 5 trap shooting platforms on the back of the club.
But
And
you don't have a marsh there that you could shoot.
No.
Yeah.
No, well, at the time, they
Might
would
have
hunt
been, yeah.
in Birdneck Point.
Yeah.
It was, natural.
Right. Sure.
But behind the club, we had these 5 trap shooting platforms, and we had our own gun club, the Cavalier Gun Club, and they would have state tournaments there. This is really cool, really interesting, but looking at a 1937 aerial, I found the location of the original golf course maintenance facility.
Oh.
And within that, I've done a lot of metal detecting and thousands of shotgun shells from the early 30s
Yeah.
were found there.
Yeah.
Maybe some that he shot.
Yeah.
But we have pictures of him on our back lawn
Yeah.
at an oyster roast, sitting at a table with a lot of people. So I know he was, especially with the trap shooting, maybe not so much the golf and the tournaments, but he was an active part of the club,
Oh, yeah.
big time.
Well, there are
Right.
articles about him picking up people here, right? And going down by
So
steamboat or...
what the family they had a place at Virginia Beach, so maybe it was Birdneck Point. I didn't inquire where their house was, but they would go down for a weekend, and so I think the Pocahontas went from Richmond to Virginia Beach or Norfolk, wherever it was, and so they'd have a house party, and so they would invite friends from Richmond, and they'd get on the Pocahontas. They'd stop at Westover, and Mother and her parents would get on, and they'd go down to wherever they docked, and go to their cottage, and party all weekend, and then get back on the Pocahontas, and Mother and her parents would get off here, and the Richmond friends would get off.
Sounds very civilized,
It
isn't it?
certainly was.
It sounds like our club.
Yeah.
You know, is what it. I mean, we could probably call him the first true member.
I feel like, in fact, if you're going to come up here, you probably should come by boat.
Yeah,
Probably.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to recreate those days.
That would be very easy to do.
That would be easy to
Andrea,
do.
for suitable consideration, could arrange a trip on a dead rise.
That's right. We have,
A what?
you know, the Dead Rise, the old Chesapeake workboats.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the board of the James River Association.
Oh, wow.
And they use those
Past
as,
president or something.
that's
Yeah.
right. They use those as their education boats, so they have really wonderful, these
Yeah.
big dead
But it
rise.
only holds 50. So
Are you familiar with the historic Cavalier Hotel?
Yes.
yes.
So they started construction in 1926 of the hotel.
Okay.
Immediately upon construction, they approved to build the golf course for the hotel. That's why we have the same name.
But how close are you to the hotel?
We're just across the water.
But,
Very close.
Okay.
But the people who built the golf club and the people who built the hotel are some of the same, or
I don't believe so. I think they're a different
Okay.
group. But it's referenced that the hotel directors approved the construction of the golf course
yeah,
for the hotel.
right, okay.
But I found
Was grandfather in either of those?
I haven't seen him
Yeah,
in those
okay.
relationships. But we do know that he was the first person ever to arrive at the hotel by a boat.
There you go.
It was in the newspaper.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do have that.
So
and he stayed at the hotel often.
when he moved here, he believed that it was important to try to get to know the people on the river. So that's typical what he was interested
Do you know
in.
the name Stormont?
I've heard it, but I don't.
So he owned two racing boats. One of
I've heard
them, Richard Teller Crane owned two racing boats that
Is it
raced
sailboats or motorboats?
Motorboats.
motorboats. And one was called Westover 1.
Okay.
I have to look up the other one. But Stormont, who lived in Birdneck Point, was his racer. He drove the boats.
Oh, that's
Interesting,
it.
that's
Snedeker, I think, built the boats,
Okay.
and I thought his son drove the boats, and
And-
possibly he did.
In the papers, it says Stormont.
Right. So, how long did Stormont live at Birdneck?
I'm not sure. I know the address where his house was.
Yeah.
In the
okay.
20s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long he lived there.
Okay. So it's quite possible that Snedeker built the Stormont boat, and it was given to Stormont, or it was sold to Stormont, and so it was his boat, and he raced it.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I never heard of it.
Snedeker captained his sub-chasers,
Okay.
Richard Cranes, that
Yeah.
he kept here, I think.
Yeah.
It's a
And
little unusual.
very disappointing. We found a reference that I think it was Captain Robinson. It wasn't Snedeker. I think Captain Robinson brought the sub-shaker up the Woods Hole
And
in the Falmouth Enterprise, and there were no further details about it, but the date when he came up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the other. There was a lot of things in the Georgetown archives. Obviously of Harvard.
Yeah.
And
Oh, if you ever
Marine.
find his report of his 20, I think he was class of 88 of Harvard, and his 25th anniversary, he wrote a nice essay for the book that they put together.
Okay.
And I wrote an essay for the book Princeton put together, and it was nowhere near.
I thought he was the class of 04,
Okay, maybe he was.
because wasn't he with FDR, maybe?
Yes,
Yes, we have
that's
that.
04.
You're right.
It's
04.
04, yeah.
There's
Okay,
his
good.
reunion
Oh, yeah.
ribbon.
Huh, okay, very good. Do you have that, or was that in the archives?
They wouldn't let me take anything, just photos.
It was in the archives.
It was, yeah.
That's the ribbon, yeah.
Yep.
Great, yeah.
We have a couple of those books, I think.
And then here's his scorecard.
So
I
I'd like
believe
to borrow
it's-
one if you find it.
You can even have one, Dad, since I have two of them.
Sorry. And then if you scroll left,
Oh, yeah.
I believe that's his name. It looks like Crane.
Another set of glasses on.
At least I've been saying it.
Depends on how good his score is.
It's not too good. But you said he was an avid tennis player, because I remember you.
Yes,
tennis
because
court
he had a
was-
tennis court, right? And if you drive the tourist parking lot the wrong way at a certain speed, you'll notice where the tennis
Yeah.
court
where
was
the-
graded.
Right, the viewing gallery was.
Yeah.
So I believe that's his name, Crane.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it looks like it. What's that thing above?
I'm not sure. Almost looks like a 2.
Yeah.
Maybe the second.
That's maybe the second, exactly.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
And then there's the actual outside of the card.
Okay.
9 holes with 1 bag. It was 40 cents.
Right.
I'm always hesitant to show the
I was
numbers.
gonna say,
the
they,
cost of
right,
things.
exactly.
But
It's
money
on
has
film
real
now,
value.
so.
And then he helped start Bird Neck Club, which I don't think really got off the ground. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Please don't worry.
Smudges.
We all have.
But we found that in there, and it was a club designed for hunting. And they would take groups from the Cavalier down to Back Bay, which is about a 40-minute ride back then.
Ah,
And it's still, to this day, it's still a huge duck hunting ground.
yeah.
And
Wa-
so how far is
waterfowl.
that?
It's about a 40-minute drive.
And when they're talking about these club cottages, those were
Those
ones,
were the ones in the neighborhood that existed in the 20s.
but it sounds like the club owned some of them, or they would rent them out to people?
That they were owned by individuals and then used. I think it was a friendly relationship.
Because this
where
is the use of the club cottages is by invitation only.
Okay, so
Maybe
that
we
looks like
suggest that
the
you make
club
your
is
reservations
controlling it.
early as
not
possible.
Cavalier Club, Bird Neck Club. Bird Neck Club cottages.
Yeah, these are the
Oh.
Bird Neck Club cottages.
Yes.
So those were owned by the club, and you had to rent them out.
They were owned by individuals, like Stormont and
Well, but
some-
this says to stay at one of the cottages connected with the Bird Neck Club. They have 4 bedrooms, and it's by invitation only, and you should make your reservation.
Yeah, from what I've read is that he envisioned having kind of like a setup where you had these clubs within the peninsula where people could come and stay, his friends, dignitaries, things like that. And they would have access to the Cavalier Club, and then this was a separate entity, I believe, the Bird Neck Club.
Okay, and it does say connected to the Bird Neck Club.
Yeah, the Bird Neck Club, we think, was a smaller peninsula next to the Cavalier, and it had this massive house on it called the Greenhouse. It was a boys' school, and that became the clubhouse for the Bird Neck Club.
So that does not exist anymore.
It does not.
Oh.
So that
And-
was built by Mr. Green for his school?
It was a boys' school. It was a massive old farmhouse
Okay.
that was converted into a boys' school.
Frame house?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And then the club after that?
The club is separate.
Oh.
It's over. But had I known that 10 years ago, I know the homeowner where they demolished the house and built his house. I've been given permission to metal detect on property, which I'm gonna do, but
Yeah,
the house is gone.
yeah, sure.
So
Was there a
you
picture of the house?
I can probably find a picture.
Yeah.
I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
And then I was also told that the house was furnished by Richard Teller Crane with furniture that he had gotten in Czechoslovakia.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you, and if you have any photos of those furnishings, we can probably cross-check them with pictures of his residence there in Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
We have a lot of pictures there.
Do you?
But can you tell me that one more time about the home and the boys' school and the clubhouse? I missed that connection.
Yeah. So the Cavalier Club,
The
Was-
old one, the original one.
right, is on a very different, shorter peninsula.
And that was given to the Cavalier Hotel by Richard Crane,
The land was.
the landlord. right,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then it was built. Our original club is in a Bermuda-style architecture, which I think there's a connection there with Cornelius Crane in Bermuda.
There certainly is, yeah.
And
Have you seen that? I have something about
you
that.
you gave me that, yeah.
Right,
And
yeah.
isn't that also connected to his cottage in Bickleau? Wasn't there a connection there or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that,
Cornelius Crane was the son, and the Jekyll Island house was built by Richard Crane, who was great-grandfather's brother.
Right.
right.
And Cornelius was his
Father,
son.
that's right. He was
Yeah.
the father of Cornelius.
We're
yeah.
trying to get Chevy Chase to come to
Yeah,
the-
and that'd be great.
Yeah, it certainly would. Yeah.
Good job.
because of that connection.
Yeah,
right.
And the golf connection with Caddyshack.
So I know that Chevy Chase is related, but I don't know exactly how.
So
It
Cornelius-
might be through Charles's wife.
yeah, so Cornelius Crane's wife
Yeah.
is Chevy Chase's adopted grandmother, I believe, is the way I read it.
Okay.
So
That's very interesting.
so I don't believe Chevy Chase is in the Crane bloodline,
Right.
basically.
But when I grew up, there were some cousins, and one of them took me sailing in her Buzzards Bay 12.5-footer through a tidal rip that I was always too cautious to go through, but we went through it at tremendous speed. We didn't have anything. It was great, but I don't think I've ever sailed my boat.
All right,
Well-
hold that thought though, because I want to go back to just finishing up with the school and the whatnot.
Okay,
If you don't
yeah.
mind.
So from what I understand is next, pretty close to the Cavalier Club was the smaller peninsula with the greenhouse. It's referenced as the greenhouse.
All owned by the Cavalier Hotel.
That I'm
Or
not
owned by
sure.
the Birdneck Club.
That I'm not sure. I don't know if that land is part of the 100 acres that Crane donated.
Okay, yeah,
I don't think it was. I think
Okay.
the northern portions of Birdneck Point he did not own.
okay.
Um,
Crane didn't own.
he didn't own the whole
Yeah,
peninsula.
okay.
No. So that house that it had an old farmhouse, which I believe is the Rice House, but it's referred to as the greenhouse. Became a boys' school. And
So
then,
Rice is the current owner?
No, this was a long
That was the
before
name
that.
of the house, yeah.
And then when I found that, no one knew anything about the Birdneck Club. That's what I found in Georgetown. And that Birdneck Club, there's some other documentation where H.H. Sherritt, I think was his name, he was kind of the engineer go-to guy for Richard Teller Crane. And he was in charge of
Really?
setting up this club.
Yeah.
He had to, you know,
Was he a Virginia Beach engineer?
I've seen him referenced in Richmond,
Okay.
so he may have come from there.
H.H. Sherritt.
Sherritt. And his signatures are on a lot of the stuff that I saw. But there was some correspondence between them where Sherritt had to explain that he was getting the job done to Richard Teller Crane.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of slacking maybe a little bit or something.
Sherritt
like
was.
that. But this Birdneck Club is what they were talking about. And like I said, I don't know if it really took off, but the farmhouse, the greenhouse, became the clubhouse. And that's where I'd read where it was furnished by Richard Teller
Yeah.
Crane.
And do you know when did your club move to its current clubhouse?
It's always been there.
Oh, so that building still stands.
A portion of our building still stands,
I
but
see.
the greenhouse is gone.
Okay, where did your building come from?
And I thought you just said that the greenhouse was your house. I thought
No.
that-
No,
Okay.
it's on a little separate peninsula.
We'll obviously have to make a trip down.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, so our club has been through so many renovations, but they have kept one unit from the original 1930 building.
Okay, 1930 is when they built it.
1930. So the club, they started building the golf course in 26. It didn't open until 1930.
Yeah. Okay,
But our charter date is at the end of 28.
yeah,
That's when it became a club.
okay.
We think.
We think. Well,
There's probably some paper, but they sold memberships or something.
the charter date is in the papers in Richmond as January 7th, 1929. But I think
Okay.
the formation was in 28. So
Yeah.
we've gone with that as our
Right.
centennial.
And they, when everything is done, then they prepare the papers and file it with the corporation commission. And
Right,
so
right.
forth.
So it was
Yeah.
established in
Yeah.
28. But the golf course just wasn't ready. I mean, it was the Great Depression. It was a very bad drought.
Yeah.
You know, coming off the Dust Bowl in the Midwest,
Oh,
it was
gee.
even affecting the East.
Yeah.
So they just referenced that it wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So it opened in June 28, 1930. And then it was in all the papers. I mean, it at the time, because of the architect and the golf boom in Virginia Beach, at the time it was one of the nicest courses, they say, in the country.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we even hosted the 1933-1934 Cavalier Open, which was a PGA event
Wow.
with Walter Hagen, Horton Smith,
Don't know this place.
Paul Runyon. They were the greatest golfers at the time.
Yeah.
Walter Hagen is, he has the third most majors in golf.
Oh, wow.
It goes Jack
Yeah.
Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Walter Hagen. Walter Hagen was even made an honorary president of the club.
Gee.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history golf-wise in the early years and later on.
Yeah.
But it was a PGA event.
Yeah.
It was a big one.
And so was it set up as a golf club, primarily a golf club?
Yeah, it was called Country Club because they had the trap shooting. They did have boating back then.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't have the marina, we had a dock, one dock.
On what creek?
We had horse stables.
It's called Lincoln Bay,
Lincoln Bay. Okay. Yeah.
which connects to the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah. And so that's good enough for an outboard or something?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
had races where people would go to the club and line up on the banks.
Oh, boy. Outboard
So they had
races.
outboard races.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and sailing. They had regattas and different events.
Yeah.
So boating has always been part of our history, and I think there again, influenced by Richard Teller Crane, because all that started in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, the trap shooting for the longest time was a big event, and then when the club in 1946, the club became a private club, no longer part of the hotel, and that's when they started the marina. And the platforms, the docks for the trap shooting became the original docks for the marina.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going back to Georgetown, probably, depending on my daughter's schedule, because she helped me go through everything, and it was a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, it was just a couple boxes, and it was, you want to read everything, photograph everything. So, we'll see, because I know there's more there that relates directly to the club and Burnett Point, the neighborhood.
In the two that you went through, or in other boxes?
Probably the other Virginia boxes.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
think his diplomatic
No,
papers will
it
help
wouldn't,
it at
yeah.
all. There was a box labeled boating,
Oh, that really is.
but it was nothing in regards to
Yeah.
Burnett Point.
So, Mother said her family was successful making things, but not particularly successful at making money. And she was thinking of her father. And so when he died, his interest in Bird Neck Point was one of the assets of the estate that really should be liquidated. And I'm sure grandmother, her financial advisor was Buford Scott, and I'm sure he got some real estate advice, and they liquidated it. So that's all I know. That
You think those are available
what?
from Buford Scott?
Well, of course he's dead, and his son is dead.
But that's Scott and Stringfellow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Scott and Stringfellow.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's him on the 13th hole. We think Cavalier, not Princess Anne. Princess Anne is another golf course near us, Princess Anne Country Club. It opened in 1919.
Okay, and you all opened in 1926?
1930 is when the golf
1930,
course.
that's right, yeah.
But
I wonder who he stands with here.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Let's see. You can zoom out or zoom in. Rather. He's in the left.
Yeah.
I don't recognize the women.
I want his pants in that picture.
That's that's where eBay comes in for you.
Vintage.
Oh, he's on the far left in the gray suit.
Yeah, let's see.
I couldn't tell you what color it is.
That's in there.
Right here. Because that looks a little like him as well.
And there's no notation on the back who's in there?
No, it was on a brochure where they were promoting the
What is that over there?
That's the tomb of William Byrd II. And the epitaph, here lies the Honorable William Byrd, what is it? The Honorable William Byrd. I've forgotten it, what it is. Born to one of the amplest fortunes of this country, he was sent early to England for his education, where, under the care and direction of Sir Robert Southwell, and even favored with his particular instruction, he made a happy proficiency in polite and various learning. By the means of the same noble friend, he was introduced to the acquaintance of many of the first persons of that age, for knowledge, wit, virtue, birth, or high station, and particularly contracted a intimate and bosom friendship with the learned and illustrious Charles Boyle, Earl of Orrery. He was a member of the Royal Society, visited the court of France, You have to go and read. I don't really read.
here.
That's okay. And please, for the record, you are how old, sir?
86.
That is just remarkable. Remarkable.
That's
Country.
Mr. Fish, you speak quite eloquently.
He was made Receiver General of His Majesty's Revenues here, was thrice appointed public agent to the Court and Ministry of England, and being 37 years a member, at last became President of the Council of this colony. To all this were added a great elegancy of taste and life, the well-bred gentleman and polite companion, the splendid economist and prudent father of a family, with the constant enemy of all exorbitant power, and hearty friend to the liberties of his country. Born March 28, 1674, died August 26.
Entertained so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a similar profile, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pants, they are money. Tight at the knees, going down. Look at that.
May I see that? I'd like to see it.
Are those hunting pants?
I don't know. They,
There he is.
but it almost looks like he's tight leggings.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like something maybe
Yeah, I've
picked
seen
up
that.
in Czechoslovakia.
Right, exactly.
Let's see what else.
So when were those? Do you know when he built that or bought that? Did he build that cottage?
Yeah, I think around 25, 26, something like that.
And how big was the land that he bought?
So most of those lots are about an acre.
No, but I mean, he gave 100 to the hotel. How much was left?
Oh, so he was part of the Birdneck Realty Group that developed the whole peninsula.
Okay, yeah.
It's about 400 acres.
Okay, that's
And
400 acres.
he donated 100 to the
He
hotel.
did, or they did to the hotel?
It says that he donated 100.
Okay,
So I don't know how much he purchased originally, if it wasn't the whole peninsula.
yeah,
It might have been. So there is a map that
Yeah.
shows the homeowners in the early 20s,
yeah.
and Richard Crane's name is on the whole peninsula.
On the whole peninsula,
Yes.
okay. And this is in, what is the date of the ownership?
1925.
And that's the date of the map?
That map, it says early. No, the map, the title is early 20 homeowners. It doesn't have a specific
Okay,
date.
early 20 homeowners,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And Richard Crane is named on the 400 acres.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole peninsula,
Right,
minus the northern portion.
Yeah.
Which was belonged by Acus. They owned it. So I think that Acus sold him that portion, but because they lived in that top northern portion, they retained that.
are they still there? The White Atticus?
No, since the 70s, I think. The last
The
Acus lived in
1970s,
1970.
And those are white Atkas.
Yes.
And where did the black Atkas go?
I think they lived on the peninsula and then just filtered out. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
And do you know what he bought the 400 acres for?
I don't.
Yeah, that would have been interesting too.
I don't know.
You
You'd think-
probably can find that in
Yeah.
the real estate records
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah, we'll probably find it.
Mhm.
And it was probably not much compared to today.
Oh, exactly.
But it was pristine. I mean, there was a portion of the peninsula that was farmland.
Yeah,
We think since the 1600s.
yeah.
There's a road on a 1689 map.
Wow, gee.
And then it was owned by a British prime minister, not the, I guess now there's the prime minister, but back then,
Yeah.
Earl of Pitt, I think.
No, but that's a very famous political name.
Is it?
I don't know whether it's the Earl of Pitt, but the Pitts were, I think one of them thought the treatment of America by the British government was bad.
Yeah, he was pro colonial. He wasn't.
Right, he wasn't a British sympathizer, he was
Right,
an
right.
American sympathizer. That's what
Who's that?
Pitt.
He was American sympathizer, yeah.
Yeah.
But he might have been, the Earl of Pitt is, I'm not familiar with the title, but I am familiar, there were two of them that were very famous, and I don't know much about them. And it's possible, when their government service was done, they were awarded a peerage and became, because you don't want to, if you're leader of the House of Commons, you don't want a title because then you get put in the House of Lords.
So the sheriff of Acus in the mid 1700s was in Princess Anne County, Virginia Beach.
Yeah,
And he was he was one of the first people killed in the Battle of Kempsville, which was one of the first battles of the Revolutionary War. He was one of the first casualties in the Revolutionary War.
wow, how old was he?
I'm not sure. I think he was in his 30s,
Yeah.
but he's the direct descendant of the Acus.
Yeah,
So there was a skirmish where I live in Kempsville, or in Virginia Beach is Kempsville, and the skirmish was right up the street.
yeah.
So, I think that the questions that our golf course built by Charles Henry Banks, a super famous golf architect at the time. He was from New York, and the big thing is I'm trying to find the connection how he hired Charles Henry Banks. I know that there's a reference to the club interior decorating was done by Dorothy Draper.
Nice, of the Greenbrier,
Yeah.
famous for the Greenbrier.
That's what the paper said.
Yeah.
And, but I knew that Richard Teller Crane knew her, probably from New York, I guess.
Yep.
And so I imagine these people, wealthy people knew each other.
Yeah.
And, at the time that's how they found Charles Henry Banks. But
So, I think grandfather very seldom had any money, as far as is known. Grandmother was a friend of great grandfather. One of her good friends married great grandfather's secretary, and grandmother went up to visit her friends.
so great grandfather being Charles.
Charles,
Crane?
right?
Okay.
Yeah. And he was very attracted to her and said, "You have to meet my son." And so she agreed, and they arranged lunch at a certain time. And it happened that day she had an evening date. But anyway, went to lunch, and she had such a good time that she wore herself out and was unable to keep her evening date, which
With
was embarrassing because her suitor lived in Brooklyn, and in those days you had to arrive with a chaperone, and he with his aunt and a chaperone, and his horse and buggy drove from Brooklyn to pick up grandmother, and she was too tired to go out.
Richard had shown her too good a time.
And so he proposed, and she refused to marry him. Said, I'm too old for you." He was 11 years younger,
Okay.
but he didn't give up, and eventually they got married. But
And that's Ellen?
Ellen, yeah.
These are the
Ellen
portraits right here.
Douglas.
Yeah.
This is Ellen Douglas and Richard
Yeah.
Keller right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So Charles was shocked at how poor Ellen was, that she didn't have enough money to buy herself a pair of gloves. And so he gave her $100,000 so she wouldn't be so poor.
Back in 19.
They got married in, what, wasn't it 1908 or something like that?
Right, so imagine, that would be a nice.
Yeah. And after they got married, they went to her home for a year in Halifax County. And
Berry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent a team from the crane company to put plumbing in Berry Hill. And it is beautiful 1908 plumbing.
Wow.
And it still operates. And so Berry Hill passed to Malcolm
These were the
Bruce.
Bruces.
There were 3 surviving Bruces. I mean, there were others, but Walter, Malcolm, and Ellen. And Walter, I think he went to Alabama and worked for the telephone company all his life. And then when he retired, I think Malcolm was willing to leave Berry Hill to him. He said, I don't want Berry Hill. And so he got an acre and built himself a house there. And so we went down occasionally to visit him, but very occasionally. And Malcolm died in 47 and Walter later, so I don't know, maybe Watkins bought it. He bought a lot of land in he was a tenant farmer and he's got his hand caught in the machinery, so he couldn't farm, so then he went into real estate.
Have you all been to Castle Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that has some spectacular plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite a place to provide water to.
Well, I'd read that it was built and then torn down because
Because his
she
wife didn't like it.
Yeah.
didn't like it.
Yeah.
A massive.
Yeah, massive house. And then they built what she wanted. But then she died not that long after, or
No.
he died? Somebody died.
Yeah, he died.
This is the uncle.
This was that's right,
Richard
Richard's
the First.
uncle. Yeah. And
Oh, that's right. He's the husband. Yeah.
so
He's the uncle.
But the husband of her that wanted it torn down.
That's right.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So great grandfather's brother married.
Higginbotham.
That's right, Florence Higginbotham, and a gentleman from Richmond, John Skelton Williams, met a Florence Higginbotham here, and we've always been friends of that family.
Okay.
And so I never met Florence Higginbotham Crane, but I lived for a couple of years with Florence Higginbotham Williams and her husband and her son. At that time, their daughter was, I think, at friend's school or something. But anyway, John Skelton Williams was an insurance salesman. And he said that when Richard Teller Crane died, it was before Black Friday, and he ran, was a strong leader of the Crane Company, and so his death shocked the value. And then Black Friday came, and so when the time came to pay estate taxes, his entire estate was not worth enough to pay the estate taxes.
Wow.
And they worked out something because the family was not destitute. But Florence Higginbotham Crane's death, Castle Hill was donated, I think, to the trustees of reservations, and Crane's Beach is a very popular beach there. And
I think it's thousands of acres, I think.
oh, I don't know, is that, but it's a substantial place, and it's, have you been there? It's well worth going.
No, I've
Yeah.
seen YouTube videos and kind of researched it a little
Right.
bit.
But so I don't know. There were two children. Florence Crane married Robinson first, I guess, who maybe he sailed around the world or something, and then she married.
Well, Cornelius Crane did the expedition
He
for,
did.
for the Field Museum.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it was for the Field Museum.
Yeah.
And Frances Crane Lilly, who was who really
Sister.
no, Richard's
Christian aunt, different generation.
is Charles'
Sister.
sister, and Charles always got along very well with her, and she was a medical doctor but didn't practice, and she studied at what is now the Marine Biological Laboratory, and eventually married the director of the NBL, which turned out to be good for the NBL because her brother got on the board and was very generous to the institution. So,
Well, that picture you shared with me of Cornelius Crane's house in Bermuda,
yeah,
I can't remember if I showed you that, but the ceiling of the timbered ceiling
yeah.
of
The beams.
cedar
Yeah.
is exactly identical to our original clubhouse.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And is that why you think it's the same architect? Or
Well,
just a popular style?
we think that Bermuda influence either from Richard Teller Crane going there, which I'm sure he did,
Sure.
or from just Cornelius Crane.
Yeah.
Do you think Charles would have introduced him to the golf court designer Banks in New York? Do you have any stories of him?
So there is a connection through the Olmsted brothers, the landscape architects.
I didn't know they were brothers. Okay.
Yeah, the Olmsteds did a lot of work for the golf course architects.
So the Olmsteds worked at Birdneck.
Well, we don't know
golf
yet.
club? Oh, you don't know. Yeah.
We don't know if
They
they,
might have. Yeah.
or if that connection, if the Olmsted brothers had
Yeah.
the Charles Henry.
Instead of Central Park. Olmsted.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't recall any reference in family discussions of working with the Olmsteds.
Okay.
And
I think the Olmsteds worked on Castle Hill, I believe.
they could have.
Yeah.
That was before I was there.
But I haven't been there very much. And Aunt Frances,
Is this the daughter of Richard Teller the First or his wife?
this is the
Charles'
sister of Charles.
Okay.
They have a numerous family, and in Woods Hole, the Lilly family lives on Buzzards Bay, and our Crane family lives on Vineyard Sound. And we are not very numerous, but the Lillys are quite numerous. But anyway, they had Aunt Frances Lilly's house, which was quite a substantial house. And the child who had the house was no longer able to, I think they died or something, and the heirs were unable to keep the house. And it had a great portrait of Richard Teller Crane, the founder of Crane Company. And nobody could have a place to hang it. And so the family gave it to the trustees of reservations to be displayed at Castle Hill, but also to one of the great Boston art museums. And they, work out how they do that. But Castle Hill in Thanksgiving for receiving this portrait, invited any member of the Crane family to come up, and so we went, and I don't think I'd ever been there before. We had a wonderful tour, and that's where I learned about Cornelius's sail around the world in his brig, the Illyria.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was the Field Museum, but that's very good.
Yeah.
But Cornelius would come from time to time and visit Mother. And one time he came, he said he'd been to Tahiti, and it was just a wonderful place, but they didn't have any scheduled service. It was, if you got there, it was hit and miss when you'd get a voyage away. So he would start scheduled service, and I don't know where it started from, but he bought 2 beautiful ocean racing yawls, and he gave us pictures of them when he came visit. And this was shortly after World War II. I don't know how
I think
shortly.
he was gifted the Illyria, I think.
I'm sure he was, but that was long before.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking now about the yawls was after.
It was a commercial enterprise.
A commercial enterprise that Cornelius set up.
Okay.
After World War II.
To take people to and from Tahiti.
And I don't know where he left from, but it was not financially viable and didn't survive that long. But I remember the pictures of the yawls, which were beautiful.
Have you met Chevy Chase? Was he at that or at the event or no?
No.
Not as far as I know. But Chase, there were 3 girls, and they lived in the Ryder House. You know the Ryder House? It's right, you come up Church Street and turn left, and it's that house right there. I think that's where they lived. Helen Louise, and there were 3 girls.
Dot one?
That was Dot Ryder, a different family.
Wow. Same name.
No, Helen Louise is a different name.
You said it was the Ryder House, so I came up with Dot Ryder.
Oh, that's exactly right.
I hope you have that on camera.
I have it on camera.
But it has nothing to do with our family.
Okay, I'm just trying to.
But that's good to clarify the point. But I may be wrong exactly.
Does this have to do with Chevy Chase?
It has to do with Chevy Chase because I think one of the sisters
Is his adopted grandmother.
married a Chase, and I have a very good forgetter, and I know the family name, but I can't call it now, and I'll probably think of it at a later time.
That's okay. We are connected with Jason, so we can send it to him.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Have you made any contact with Chevy Chase?
I never got a response. I used his fan club, and then I follow him on Facebook.
Yeah.
But we'll reach out again.
Yeah, probably
He didn't respond to our first one.
wear him down a little bit, or find someone who knows him, right?
But like I said, there's a family connection, but that he was in Caddyshack. I thought that would be cool with the golf connection.
Right.
But the name is right on the tip of my.
Well, stop thinking about it. It'll come to you.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Wow. Thank you again for having us. This stuff's kind of addictive.
Well, good for you for going down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been interested in history,
Yeah.
and I've always really been interested in the history of the club, but I haven't really been able to, when I became the superintendent, when my boss retired after 45 years, I had the ability to do more. And then, when you find these things, whether it be about Richard Crane or metal detecting and finding,
Yeah.
it just opens it up more. It's like peeling an onion,
Yeah.
layer
Right.
after
Yeah.
layer.
That's great.
But it's all starting to connect.
Yeah.
We had a member dig back in when was that? September, I think.
Was it members are invited to join a dig at a certain
An archaeological
place on the
dig,
property?
In the site of the original maintenance shop.
Oh, okay, great.
And I picked that because there's lots of places on the golf course where you might find something,
Yeah.
but you might find one thing.
Right.
This was, without a doubt, you're going to find a lot.
Yeah.
And so we're digging, and I told him, I said, we really need something that says Cavalier, something really that kind of solidifies the spot. And sure enough, we found some china from the hotel
Wow.
that they used at the club.
Yeah.
And it said on there, it had the logo, Cavalier, and everything. So it was that was a big fight.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's great. Yeah.
With the shotgun shells, clay pigeons,
Yeah.
not with a metal detector, but they just come out of the
Yeah.
ground.
Right.
And then any kind of mower parts, spark plugs.
Yeah.
There's thousands of artifacts.
Yeah.
So we're
Coke
working
bottles,
on,
we got bottles, we got
early
decanters,
1900
we
bottles.
yeah.
We must have found
1,900 bottles.
1900s.
Oh, from the, I was like, wow.
But
Wow.
we found at least 100 broken milk bottles from the early 1930s.
Yeah.
In
Coke
that spot.
bottles.
So, just like any golf course maintenance facility, it's a dumping ground for junk metal.
Yeah.
And we think that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Just dumping around the
Right.
site. So, a lot of horseshoes, plow blades, some things that we think were involved in the construction of the golf course.
Yeah.
Not the maintenance of the
Yeah.
golf course. So it's been pretty neat. We're working on cabinetry. Dr. Lehman has met with some cabinet makers, because we have no history.
display cases.
There's nothing in the club.
Curios,
Yeah.
display
There's
cabinets.
literally nothing in the club of the history.
And is there someone else that Richard Crane was working in conjunction, or was a co-owner? Do you have another name that's sort of always appearing in that, or were there 3 or 4 of them, or?
Not really. I mean, we know the names of the board of directors for the hotel, but there again, I haven't seen anything. Most of what I've found, now it may be in Georgetown,
So
those
Crane
correspondents.
donated the money and then worked to build the club.
Yeah. Now it may have been
I mean, donated the
That he-
land, excuse me.
that he had this idea and got his father involved in it, because his father was the one with the money, and but he may have had enough money then to buy the land. I just don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research and see maybe what he paid for the peninsula,
Yeah.
because he was the owner of the peninsula.
Yeah.
We know that. And then to just donate it, I mean.
But
but
then he
he-
stayed active. I mean, it wasn't just
Oh,
something
yeah,
he
he was-
donated and went away. He was interested in having a club.
Right, and then
forward.
of course he was super active in the state of Virginia in all different, tax on commission, whatever it is.
He was on the served on the board of the Game and Inland Fisheries
Yes.
Commission, because we have some stationery from that.
Yeah, and I found his name on the origins of our state park in Virginia Beach, the First Landing State Park.
Oh,
It used to
great.
be Seashore State Park.
Yeah.
Now it's First Landing.
Yeah.
But his name is on that list of people that got that started.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So these were people supporting the park department, or these are people who said this should be done and they went to the parks
Well, I
department?
think he was a conservationist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really interesting is all this here, and we spend so much time down there at Virginia Beach getting involved with things, right? I mean, we don't
that
live
was
here
his-
because we're so busy. I mean, we
that
couldn't
was
even
his
imagine having.
That was his playground. That was his retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, what he helped start is what we have. I mean, that's what the club is. It's
Yeah.
always been that way.
Yeah.
That's why I call him the first member. There were some other pictures of that cottage if you want to scroll.
The other things that give rise to the connection is the cedars that you have as you come in. We had the same thing at the Cavalier. You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
speak to that?
The drive-in, when you come in, the avenue line with
Yeah.
the Eastern Red Cedars.
Okay, now that might be an agricultural legacy, because we used to have cattle,
I'm gonna start using that agricultural legacy
and
words.
you have to have fences for the cattle, and so birds like to sit on the fences, and they'll drop the seeds that they've eaten.
The juniper berry.
Yeah, and then various things will come up.
Take a couple pictures of these.
Oh, I can send them to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'd
That'd
be
be
happy
great.
to send them to you.
Thank you.
I wanted to show you an old aerial of the club so that you can see.
Yeah. I'd like also to have a copy of that picture showing grandfather.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
So like I said, that was in a Bird Neck Point advertisement brochure.
And so what date?
I'm sorry?
What date?
That would be probably 19. So they started advertising for Bird Neck Point when they started building the golf course. So anywhere from 26 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 26 to 30, but not during the 30s. It was
No,
before that. Yeah.
Before that.
Yeah.
Before 1930.
Do you know when he sat for his portrait?
Um,
What year that is?
I think it was painted from photographs.
Oh, photograph, okay.
So here's early 30s. There's the club from an aerial shot, and you can see the trap shooting platforms behind the club.
This is the club. Okay.
Yep.
Keep far away from it.
Oh, this is the trap shooting platform. Okay, yeah.
There were 5 of them.
Wow.
Wow, they're pretty substantial.
We were told we had the first night shoot ever for trap shooting.
Boy.
How do you know if you hit the clay pigeon?
They were. It said they were
Nice.
luminescent. So I don't know how they did that.
Really?
But
Luminescent pigeons.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they did have. I found photos of these massive spotlights up on the club.
Ah,
Huge.
Yeah.
That they had set up. Let me find a picture of the night trap shooting. I got that too.
so we have a cousin who mother said looked very much like her father and was like her father in that he liked all sorts of boats and different mechanical things. And this cousin also got into flying, I don't think.
Which cousin is this?
Dickie, Diana's father.
And were all these photographs at Georgetown?
No, these are ones that either we had or that I found through research.
Mm-hmm.
The couple that I've shown you of the cottage, those were Georgetown. Those were actual photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the picture of grandfather with various other people, that was
That was at
in
Georgetown.
Clubhouse.
That's
Oh,
a-
that was in Georgetown.
That's a brochure.
That was it.
Yeah.
That
How
was in
did
the-
how did it get to Georgetown? That's what I don't understand.
Well, he
they were
kept it-
willing to take it.
You what? They were the only
George,
ones.
I don't.
Well, he was in the foreign service, right? There
That's
would have been
right,
a connection
yeah,
there for
yeah.
sure. And it was probably a natural fit.
Mhm.
Now, great grandfather's papers are at Columbia.
It was
Did
also
you know that?
Charles's paper.
I didn't know they were at Columbia. No.
Yeah, and mother's cousin Tom Crane is still living and is what 10 or 15 years younger than I am, but he's probably the best one for Charles Crane, and I think he's been active in donating Charles Crane's papers to Columbia.
Do you have a contact for him?
Okay.
Yeah,
We should love to be able to get that.
Yeah.
I probably don't have it here.
We should also show you the, this is his ambassadorship, but it's just fun to know about the proclamation that he was given by President Wilson because the language is so wonderful. You know, he wasn't an ambassador, he was a minister plenipotentiary.
Wow.
He wasn't
Have you
an
seen that?
ambassador because in those days, an ambassador was considered the representative of the king. And
Okay,
of
the
course-
sailboat out there in honor of you all being here. Rarely do we have sailboats in the river.
Oh yeah.